and welcome to the SheerLuxe Middle East podcast. I'm Tamara, editor-in-chief of SheerLuxe Middle East. I am joined today by the most amazing three stylish women next to me. Welcome.
Hi. Thank you.
Yeah, excited to have you guys. So I'm here with Lulu Dehmesh, also known as Lemia. She's my very close friend first, but also a stylist and creative consultant. Muzi Sufi, the fabulous Muzi, who is a photographer and social media content creator. And then my colleague and lovely, amazing fashion editor of SheerLuxe Middle East, Amrita Singh.
Thank you.
Welcome, ladies. So happy to have you.
Thanks for having us.
Welcome, welcome. Well, we first have to start off about what you're wearing today. I want to know every single detail because you guys look so stylish. Lulu, we'll start off with you.
So I'm wearing Balenciaga shoes, Zara pants, and I recently discovered this really cool brand. It's an Egyptian brand called Rebel Cairo. So my jacket is Rebel Cairo.
How did you discover the brand?
A friend of mine, an Egyptian friend of mine, recommended that I check them out, and then I got hooked.
Amazing.
And this jacket's
it's
really cool.
Thank you.
I love it. I love it.
It has a real like vintage vibe.
Yeah, it's very much you because you're very
I
much
actually wear it a lot. Like since I got it, I haven't taken it off because it just goes with everything.
It's
and they have really cool pieces.
And your
so
jewelry too. Take us through that too.
These are vintage.
Love
this
it.
is my cousin's actually designer, so it's her name's Karma Melhas. And it's inspired by Palestinian embroidery actually.
Beautiful.
And then this is vintage from my mom actually, and then a pinky ring that I made.
Beautiful. I love it. Muzi, talk us through. Love it. Love the jeans so much.
Thank you so much. The jeans are by the Mani. I don't know if you guys know this brand.
Tell me more.
Amazing. Mani is her name, is her Instagram, and she has this phenomenal brand with these killer blazers and these jeans.
Where is she based?
I think Poland.
Yeah. I think
Oh wow,
she's,
Polish brand.
Yeah, somewhere in Europe, but I think it's Poland. Incredible jeans, incredible. It's just the best brand. And so the Mani denim. My shoes are Bottega. Blazer is Saint Laurent, and my inner is Commando.
Nice.
Yeah.
Would you say that it's like a
Seamless, staple?
Yeah.
I love it. It's so, I wear it under things. I wear it like
that.
it hides everything. It's just so nice.
You always need that, right? Like for your wardrobe.
Yeah.
Well, we're gonna get into
a good
capsule
basic.
collection wardrobe because I definitely want to know all about your tips because it's just the perfect way to add.
It is having that neutral.
Yeah,
it's
just an option to have in your wardrobe.
Yeah.
It's really nice.
For sure.
I love
I
it.
agree.
For sure.
And Rita, tell us a little bit.
What am I wearing? I am wearing a 12 stories crop top, a Bugessa jacket, Celine jeans, and Mango shoes.
Love it. I actually really like the detail of your jeans with the little.
Thanks. The little gold detail.
I love it. That's part of the jeans, right?
Yeah, it's part of the
So
denim.
nice.
It's
They're
so
super
cute.
cool.
Gorgeous.
Love them.
Really cute.
I feel like the only issue with like having gold hardware on anything that you're wearing is to match your jewelry.
It's like limiting to just.
Yeah.
So actually, that's true.
And
You
your
guys
shoes
mix
even.
the metals.
I mix metals.
And
so
you do it fabulously.
I wear like silver and I wear gold, and then
I like mixing the metals, but I think the balance has to be
there
there.
is a
Because
balance.
I struggle to have like a shoe with one metal and then a bag with another. Like
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
for me.
No, I know. That's the same with me.
Like, and that's
Yeah.
why I'm like so particular.
It's
like if my
true.
husband would be like, "Oh, but you have a black bag," I'm like, "No, but that one's black with silver
this-
hardware.
exactly.
I need one with
That
black
really matters to me
and
as
gold
well.
hardware,
It's
or like
true.
just a plain black,
Yeah.
or like so.
With jewelry, I don't mind, but with bags and shoes,
exactly.
it actually
It does make a difference.
It
For
does
me as
make
well.
a difference.
I actually was very much like an all gold only
Yeah.
and all silver
Yeah.
silver girly.
Yeah.
Like that's a new
Silver
term.
girly.
I was that for a long time, and then my boyfriend recently gifted me this Haza Fahmy necklace, which I'm not wearing today, but it has gold and silver, and I was like, oh, I can mix my metals.
She's a queen at
She's
mixing.
amazing. Like, I love
it's
her things.
amazing, honestly.
And you
Again,
didn't-
an Egyptian designer.
you
Like,
didn't tell us what you're wearing.
oh,
Yeah.
I'm wearing a Massimo set and my trusty Birkenstocks.
I love that.
So, I mean, what got you guys into fashion to start off with? How did you get into the fields that you're currently in?
For me, I feel like I naturally got into fashion at a young age. My mom was always someone that really inspired me, and growing up, she always wanted to work in fashion, and she never did. So I feel like I naturally just was growing up in a household where my mom was always into fashion, and I would go into her closet and like try on her things without her knowing, when you're like super young. And I feel like I naturally just adopted that.
And so now you're a stylist and a creative consultant.
And now I'm a stylist and creative consultant. So I always knew I wanted to be in fashion. I studied fashion management at London College of Fashion. And from there, I came back and I actually started working with my cousin at All Things Mochi.
Such a nice brand.
And then she was the one that was like, Lulu, the way you put things together is amazing. Like, do you not see it? And I'm like, you know, sometimes you just don't see it. She's like, yeah, but the way you mix and match things, like I wouldn't have ever thought of that. And then from there, I realized that styling is something that I'm actually really good at. And that's when I started to kind of get on shoots and build my portfolio. I then landed a job at Farfetch, and here we are 10 years later. Yeah.
Amazing. And then you branched off and now you're doing your own thing.
And now I'm doing my own thing.
Amazing. So. I want to hear all about you because you're also a photographer as well.
So I'm a photographer. I grew up kind of between Cairo and different parts of the Middle East. I think it didn't come to me from a young age, like fashion in the sense that like, oh, I know I want to study fashion, or oh, I know I want to like pursue a job in fashion. Actually, no. But like what happened was exactly like this. Like I would some of my earliest memories are like going into my mom's closet, trying on her things. My mom was like, she never was not put together. Yeah, so that's one thing that like I notice a lot, that like, you know, people are like lounging at home, no makeup, PJs. That wasn't my mom. Like she would just be like dressed amazing all day. And had 5 kids. So I was like,
five kids? So you're one of 5?
I'm one of 5, yeah.
Wow, that's amazing. Like,
I know. So I think growing up with sisters, like we all had our own horrendous styles, okay? Like growing up, whatever.
Who didn't? I mean,
all those photos are all forever archived.
It's hilarious.
Have you noticed that some of those trends have been coming back?
Yeah, the capri pants.
The capri pants are back.
But by the way, I was gonna wear them today.
But I remember when capris were like really in. And I feel like it's back now.
But everything comes back, right?
It
like,
really does.
For example, I was just talking to you guys about the Mango Cedrus collaboration, and I'm obsessed with Cedrus. I actually just bought a pair of capris from that collab. But you know what? I was looking. Do you guys remember those netted shoes? Like the slippers?
Oh my god,
they're back, and they have them on the collaboration.
They're fully back.
I feel like I had my moment with the Alaya mesh ballerinas, which I love.
I love those.
I love
those.
I love
really
those.
nice.
But
Georgie has a pair, and I'm obsessed.
Yeah. I'm not
I think
going down that route.
They've peaked right now because
peaked.
like it's like almost impossible. So you got them at a good time.
I got mine last March. I've had them
really
over
well
a
too.
year.
They do. Really nice.
But I like the Christopher Esper ones. They're like more like a sock.
They're cool.
They're
I
really
feel like
cool.
they're again not for me, but you would look really cool.
I don't think I'd wear them. I feel like I'm in my heels era now.
Love it.
I feel like I need to like
something.
I need like a little kitten at least.
Yeah.
I mean, being petite is not the easiest when it comes to dressing as well.
I can imagine actually, because and I think a lot of your followers and people that follow SheerLuxe Middle East follow you because they also can relate to your frame as well, because a lot of petite women struggle with finding clothes that doesn't drown them as well, but you do it so well.
I love an oversized piece, and the funniest thing is the blazer that I'd purchased from Nisa.
Yeah,
I love it. Listen,
I
love it.
I need to get mine.
I really need to get one ASAP because it is amazing. The fit, I've seen like
amazing.
the length, the fit, honestly everything, even the price point. I think
she's doing a great job.
It's so
they're
good.
really nice, and they really remind me of like Saint Laurent blazers. Like they're so
structured
really well.
Excessive shoulder.
Yeah, I love
nothing like a power shoulder, and she's doing it really well.
Every time I wear it, I have women who are like messaging me. They're like, "How tall are you? That blazer is amazing. Where do I get it?"
They can relate to having that.
Nisa, hurry up.
Nisa, hurry up.
But going back to you, so you lived in different Middle Eastern cities.
Yes, I grew up in Cairo predominantly. I was in Doha before there was anything.
Oh my
there was
God,
just
I can
like
imagine.
the mall. It was actually just called the mall. Most recently, I was in Saudi, in Riyadh, but the change wasn't really there. So I moved there in 2016.
Okay. So before all the changes and
before all the changes, and I remember sometimes getting stopped in supermarkets by some people like, please cover your head.
Yeah.
Blah, blah, blah. But like
it's changed so much.
It's changed so much, and even by the time I moved, like things were moving so quickly. But now it's amazing. I can't wait to go back. I want to go back to like even
honestly,
Jeddah.
Riyadh and Jeddah. We were there recently for a SheerLuxe Middle East event.
Yeah.
Amazing, incredible. I mean, I know Saudi because I grew up in Dubai, so I'm familiar with Saudi, but very briefly. I went for work in my adult years. So as a child, I never actually
So
visited
it is
Saudi.
very different. Like even now, my friends over there, it's just like there is such a huge change. Like we can't wait for you to visit.
And there's so many things opening, and it's a very vibrant place to be.
Yeah.
Really nice.
For sure.
And so what got you into photography?
So I was in Lahore at the time, and I was really bored, and I picked up a camera, and I really enjoyed it. I studied business, had no intention of going into fashion or photography, and I just found it as an outlet, and I realized I really enjoy it. And at the time, there weren't that many female fashion photographers in Pakistan. It was a very male-dominated field, so I kind of got into it, and then I loved it. I just had so much fun. I started appreciating, I'm South Asian, so I love fabrics. I look at fabrics like from a very different perspective. Textiles is a huge thing. Work is a huge thing. Like in South Asia, like it's incredible, because sometimes I see couture pieces and I'm like, well, I'm impressed, but like
The craftsmanship,
of
South Asians
is like
it's
so
another level.
incredible.
It's another level.
Yeah,
No, it is.
And it's all handworked. And the thing
It's
about
handworked, and like you see those artisans and you see how they work at it, and you're just like, it's hard to feel impressed when you look at other
When
things,
you're already,
you know, it's interesting because I think like when we look at South Asian attire,
Yeah.
because everything is handmade to fit you,
Yeah.
it's all couture.
It
if you
is.
think
I mean,
about
essentially it is.
Yeah,
I think
exactly.
Dior collaborated with
India,
Indian designers
Yes,
in
and
India.
it was amazing.
It's
Indian-
not,
It
and
wasn't
they
in-
collaborated with, so they use a particular place there where they have their embroideries produced
Right.
and designed over there. And that's probably why they wanted to pay homage.
That's exactly it. They wanted to pay homage to the artisans that are working on their ongoing
incredible.
collections,
Yeah,
right? It's
I
not
mean,
just
that's credit where credit is due, right?
It's
I mean,
amazing.
This is amazing.
Yeah.
And great.
I actually went to India about a month ago, and I was
how
so impressed by.
You've been before though, right?
I've been before as well,
Yeah.
but I was so impressed by like all the textiles and just the detailing.
the detail
and,
and like the prints and
Yeah,
the
it's
vibrant
amazing.
colors and like
Yeah.
it's
Oh,
just
like
the
my
colors.
heaven.
It's
sounds
amazing.
That is my heaven.
One of our best friends is getting married at the end in November. We wished it was in India because she's marrying an Indian man, and we wished it was in India, but it's actually gonna be in Egypt. But they're gonna have like the Indian wedding, the Indian ceremony. So there's a sangeet. Me and Lulu are just talking about how excited we are because we're like
You're
the
about to, like,
outfit.
bust out dance.
And
Oh, like,
honestly, when
And
I
what's
came,
that? I'm like choreography.
Yeah,
Sign me
literally.
up.
No, but when I came back, I felt so inspired because I love color. Like I'm such a colorful
Yeah.
and you do it
person.
so well.
So when I was there, I'm like, I'm in my element.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
Print and color.
It's amazing.
Everything
Yeah.
together. Yeah.
That's me.
In the group chat, we always joke about how Lulu could pull off literally anything, like throw in a garbage bag and she'll make it work in some capacity. Like it's a talent.
Whereas I'm like, color, I'm afraid.
But you also do monochrome so well.
Yeah,
Like it's not
you
just
do.
boring black
You really
or boring
do.
beige or boring. You know, it's like
right.
oh, I'm inspired by that too, which I love.
I don't know. I don't know if it's my skin tone or.
Ooh, thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Exactly what I
Thanks
needed.
so much.
I love
Thank
it.
you.
Actually, speaking of what is your coffee order? What do you guys drink?
So I'm having a latte with almond milk. I used to drink oats, but I don't know.
See,
I've recently
the glucose
discovered that
goddess.
oats isn't good
Oh
for
my
you.
god, we were just talking
So now
about
I've
this.
switched to almonds.
that's it.
So
Yeah,
I know.
oat is not good for you apparently.
So now I'm back to almond milk.
Got it. Yeah. What about you?
That's the same thing and same story. Like
Yeah.
I called my mom a few weeks back saying I know I switched you to oat milk
Yeah.
a few years back,
Like, I
but
regret
I
it.
think that's not the right. She's like, we shouldn't listen to you. We should just go back to cow's milk. And I'm like, okay.
Well, actually, lots of people are saying that they should go back to cow's milk.
I mean, yeah.
Because
know.
I guess like most of us were like just raised on it.
But
it's fair.
fair.
So I'm having a coconut milk,
Oh,
flat white.
Coconut
Yeah.
milk is really
Is it in the
good.
safe zone?
It's in
What
the
does
safe-
Glucose Guardian say about it?
Glucose goddess.
Goddess.
Yeah,
God.
Glucose
Glucose
goddess. says-
Guardian.
You know what Glucose
Alex.
Guardian is? I heard this girl on TikTok say, he's my glucose guardian, which means like sugar daddy.
Oh,
So that's where it came from. How funny is that? It took me a while because she didn't explain it in the video.
Oh
I was
my
like, what is a
god.
glucose guardian? Then I was like, glucose, sugar, guardian, like parent, daddy. Or like, it was like I was deciphering it. But how funny is that?
that is
amazing.
hilarious. I love
Subscribe.
that so much.
Oh my gosh.
That's brilliant.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
no, but did she really have a sugar daddy?
I mean, TikTok, right? Like, you never know what's
We're like, we need
Some
to
of
know
the
the real
stories-
story.
Some of the stories
Yeah,
I'm like, this is so engaging and so so interesting. Did
Yeah.
this really happen?
Yeah,
You never
I
know
know.
what.
You never know.
You never know if
I'm
it's
like,
real
how
or
is
not.
this real?
So that's the thing about like
really
content
giving you
creators
money.
and like knowing if they're authentic, and that's a whole new.
Yeah,
that's a whole other discussion of like
Yeah.
what content creators look like
Yeah.
these days. Because before it was like Instagram was just a visual, right? And it's just like aesthetics. And I actually want to get into how you guys curate your Instagram feeds, because all of you have amazing Instagram feeds, and it's always so like beautiful and really well done. But also now with the age of TikTok and face to camera videos, and you know, you have to be a little bit more authentic. You have to show your authenticity in different ways. So that's a whole other thing. But actually, how do you guys curate your Instagram feeds? Because does it take time?
Well, for me, it's funny because like Amrita was like, yeah, you know, it's just like you have like this aesthetic, and I was laughing that I feel like sometimes it's Eeyore on Instagram.
Eeyore,
because
like,
it's
oh my
like
God,
Eeyore
stop.
from Winnie the
It's
Pooh.
hilarious.
Because it's so like it's not just no color. I will add color, but it's like very, very like
It's a
gray.
mood, though.
And it is a
Yeah,
mood.
yeah.
And it's just something that I visually find very pleasing. So for
Especially
me,
with your photographer eye.
yes. So for me, it's really important to like when I land on something, it shouldn't be like chaotic. And so yeah, visually I just find it pleasing. So that's kind of the way I go ahead with things. And sometimes I'm like, I'm so bored of this. I need to do something like crazy. And then I'm like, I'll shoot something crazy. And I'm like, no, I'll
And then
make
you
it
stick
black and
back
white.
to your roots.
Yeah, yeah. I'll
You're
be like,
like,
oh, no,
"Nah,
I'm just gonna make this black and white. I
What
don't
you
like
doing?"
this purple and white anymore.
I'm like the complete opposite.
Exactly.
Which is so cool to have that too.
I'm the
like,
complete opposite.
the opposites. But
Yeah.
so do you plan in advance the way that the grid looks? You use those apps?
To be honest, I have friends that go like 6-10 images in advance, and I'm like, wow, no, I don't have the time or energy for that. Like, I'll do like maybe 2 or 3 just to make sure the placement of like one image looks
Makes
good.
sense.
But I try not to think too deeply into that, because I'm like, I spend so much time on the app anyway. I don't want to spend more.
100%.
Yeah.
What about you?
For me, I love colors. So if you go on my page, you can see.
We
I'm
definitely know
super
that. We see
colorful
that. We
and
see that.
vibrant.
Fun.
The way I curate it, honestly, I don't really think about it. It's just what I feel. But it's also a showcase of my work.
Yeah, because that's what Instagram is, right? It's like
Yeah.
a platform to showcase your work.
What you
It's a
do,
platform
yeah.
to
So it's like,
showcase my
hey,
work.
who am I? Here's my Instagram link. You can check it out. And
But it's also my travels. I love taking mood shots. So if it's like a shoe that I like, or you know, a piece of furniture that I liked, I like to incorporate it in my feed. So it's a mix of my work as well as things that kind of inspire me, as well as my style.
I feel like it's quite nice to like go back
yeah.
into your memories and be like,
Totally.
I forgot about that
Yeah.
moment, or I forgot
that's how I
about.
feel about my stories. I like have my story highlights because I'm like, those are
Yeah.
my
Yeah.
memories that I can, and I relive that experience, which is so nice.
Yeah.
And you're so good with your Instagram lives.
Oh, so basically, I started trying out these Instagram lives where I could answer people's questions, because I get loads in the DMs, or
Yeah,
if
I
couldn't-
actually came on a few of yours.
Oh, did
I've
you?
joined a few of yours, and I
did
really
you?
enjoyed them.
They're like just being like, people ask me some really interesting questions, sometimes sassy questions, sometimes I'm like, I go off into like a story, but I started to do them because I wanted to grow my confidence in, you know, being in front of a camera, and there's a lot of that at SheerLuxe.
Good for
at the
you.
moment,
That's
at least.
so good.
That's
So I was
great.
like, if
And you're giving the people what they want. Like they
Yeah.
want to learn more,
Yeah.
and it's
Yeah.
amazing that you give them that time to do so.
Right.
It's so
Absolutely.
good.
It's just like, so I'll take their questions and be like, it's better for me to answer them here. You can put me on the spot here, but in my DMs, it just becomes a lot more overwhelming because there's so many questions, and then, you know, typing out a response. And I like to kind of engage with everyone in terms of, you know, I have a really great tribe of women that follow me, and I think all of them are so unique, and they're always asking really kind of very like sweet questions about, you know, style and stuff, and you want to be able to, and a lot of them are quite similar, so you want to be able to engage with everyone and not make anyone feel left out. And I think it's the best way for me to get everyone involved.
I love that. Yeah,
I
that's
love
very
it so
inclusive,
much,
by the
and
way.
it's
Yeah.
so good.
Because it's
so
also
good.
frequent, so it's not like, you know, I missed it. Like you
Yeah.
do it
Yeah.
quite
I'll
frequently,
do
which
it
is really
like
nice.
No,
whenever I
you do.
have like a free like
That's amazing.
30 minutes or something.
So speaking of fashion questions, I actually wanted to know, how do you guys balance staying with the trends but also maintaining your personal style?
For me, I personally don't follow trends. I feel like I don't follow trends, even though I did buy capris.
I'm like, those capris were mentioned.
No, I mean,
selective.
I do get
Selective.
influenced by trends, but I don't naturally. I feel like when I wake up in the morning, I just put on things that I feel I'm in the mood for. You know what I mean? It depends on my feeling that day, how I'm feeling on that specific day.
Yeah.
Dress the way you feel.
Yeah,
basically.
absolutely.
Yeah,
I
I
think
agree.
that like trends come in, but they're relevant
Yeah.
to some of us. They're not relevant to all of us. So
Yeah.
I feel like we'll always gravitate towards something that works for
Yeah.
us and our personal aesthetic.
Yeah.
But when it came to like the oversized, when that first started coming out, I was like, I want that.
Subscribe.
But how do I do that being 5'1"? So that was something that I had to like
Yeah.
really kind of hone.
Yeah, it's true.
And because before that, people would always be like, you know, petite people should only wear X, Y, and Z. And there were these like little rules, and then they would have these like petite ranges, and none of them I felt would work in a flattering way.
Yeah.
So I feel like when it comes to trends, like you should only really pick and choose what works for you rather than go, oh, I have FOMO about that.
Totally.
It's
yeah,
true.
makes sense.
And I think it's also about if you want to follow that trend, following it in your own way.
Yeah.
In your own way,
Right?
and
Like-
not letting it kind of like.
Yeah.
Not
Dictate.
letting overconsumption sort of just like dictate that phase or those few weeks or months or whatever. So I feel like for me, again, I don't really follow trends because I have a very clear vision of what I want in my wardrobe and what I want in my wardrobe 10 years from today.
Yeah.
And I want those pieces to last. So I will definitely buy fewer pieces very infrequently, but then those pieces will be pieces that my daughters will want to wear. You know what I mean?
love
Or
that.
like,
Actually, that actually brings me to my next point. Everyone's talking about capsule wardrobes.
Yeah.
You must have a capsule wardrobe, and I fully believe in that. And I fully believe that you should invest in a small number of pieces that are going to last you a long time.
Yeah.
That top is amazing and it looks like a perfect capsule wardrobe piece.
yes, it is.
So if you guys can share a little bit about that and how to create a capsule wardrobe.
It doesn't matter if you wear a color, if you don't wear a color, like whichever it is, or if it's both, you know the pieces you keep grabbing from your wardrobe. And that's the basis of where it begins.
Absolutely.
Like for me, I like when I first started, you know, shaving down my wardrobe to like a thinner amount of pieces, I'd be like, okay, what is special about this particular blazer that I don't see in other blazers from other places? Is it the padded shoulders? Is it the fact that it's cropped and like kind of triangular from the center? Like these are things that I notice now in pretty much every piece that I buy.
So you really think about the piece.
I really
I
think
feel
of the
like-
shape of a piece. I really think, and then
Interesting.
that's something that will set like a difference marker for me. In,
I
like,
feel
different
like
pieces.
everyone's like capsule is different. Like I can imagine Lulu's capsule would be so different from mine.
Exactly.
love
By the
to
way,
see
that's
it.
so true. Well, not one size fits all for
Yeah.
everyone's
Yeah, it's
capsule.
not.
It's not like only neutrals, and it's not only
No,
you know,
but I do
XYZ.
have my neutral pieces, which I think like a timeless blazer is
Yeah.
really important. It's
Yeah.
essential to have. And then I have those neutral pieces, but I also love to incorporate color into whatever it is that I'm, you know, I'm wearing. And I think jewelry is also something that I personally love. Like,
Yeah, it adds a
jewelry
really-
is timeless.
For sure.
You know, investing in a nice in a gold necklace that kind of lasts you a lifetime, but
For sure.
also matches with everything.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, I think everyone's like capsule is so personal.
Yeah.
So when people say like, what 20 pieces should you have in your capsule wardrobe? I'm like, well, it really depends on you and your taste and what you reach for every day.
Fair.
But I stick to a formula. And I feel like you're the same in that regard. Like the formula is
Tell
jeans,
us.
pants, a cool tank or a t-shirt, and then a big jacket on top, a big blazer. That's the formula, and you
Go-to.
can play with that in so many different
in
ways.
so many different colors, in so many different. So like, it's not necessary that like if you have a capsule wardrobe, you have to stick to one black blazer, one white blazer, one. Obviously, we're in fashion. Like you do want.
Variety.
Like
and
I
you
have
do
my
need
green blazer.
variety.
I have my
Yeah,
green blazer.
you can
that
have- I mean,
you definitely have a
I
green
know,
blazer.
my
I'm not
green
surprised.
blazer
Green
that-
looks amazing.
Green
on
is
you.
She loves
an
green, and
incredible
I
color.
love
But it's
green.
also like it's like a cocky green that kind of.
I've always said green as a neutral.
know,
like I think
it
green
is-
is
I
definitely.
think so too.
I'm,
Green's my
I'm
favorite
getting a
color.
green couch because I think it's amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, I love a green home accent,
Love.
but Lulu has these platforms. I think they're from
Oh, the
Decori,
Decori ones.
and they're green, and
electric
I
green.
love
Yeah, they're
them.
electric.
I see them on her, and I'm like,
Iconic.
only she could pull them
Honestly,
off. 'cause they're
I
so
think that multiple times a day. I'm like, only Lulu can pull
Only
this off.
Lulu.
No, but that's really cool. Do you have any places where you guys go to get your staple pieces?
So there's Totem, which is fabulous.
Yeah.
I feel like you can wear and
Yeah, I
rewear,
love
and
Totem.
it's just incredible. Then there's Wardrobe NYC. I don't know if you're, do you
Wardrobe
say
NYC is
it's
yeah.
incredible.
Incredible.
I love
Like
Wardrobe.
to the point where
Their
the
quality,
t-shirts
the
that I
fits,
have,
yeah.
just a basic t-shirt, it can go in the wash 100 times and it has not lost its shape.
That's amazing.
Like what is that?
That's
Like,
amazing.
Am I paying so much money for this one t-shirt? some people might think it's silly, but you're literally just
No, but if it's gonna
wearing it
last you a long
so
time,
many times.
I'd rather spend the money and have it last a
Right.
lot longer.
And there are a lot of things that come into play. I mean, non-fast fashion is not accessible to everyone in terms of what budget they have to spend on an outfit that month or that year or whatever. But
when people come to me with the budget question, I always say, look, if you want decent white t-shirts or basics, go to COS.
Yeah,
Because
and
they're
they're
the most
still
affordable.
these,
you
like, they're
can
gonna
still
last
get
you.
like, you know,
Very
good
well.
stitching, 100% cotton. Like, I would still be like, okay, if you're gonna go to a fast fashion place, just look at the label. Take those extra 10 seconds. Look at the label. See what it is. What's the material? How's the stitching? And then you can go ahead and buy that piece.
I love the attention to detail. I love that. That's amazing.
It's taken me years to do this,
I mean,
but
I
I
just
really
bought this
do it.
Massimo set. I'm like, it's great.
But there's also Frankie Shop, which I really
Which is
like,
good,
which
yeah.
I think is a
Great.
bit more on the affordable.
It's definitely more
range.
in between, and you can
It's a bit more
contemporary.
in between.
Yeah.
And I personally love their fits. I like
The
their
fits,
silhouettes.
it's cool.
It's also
It's-
on you guys' vibe as
Yes,
well.
for sure.
But
I'm loving like the Jacquemus blazers at the moment.
God.
Yeah.
You know what's interesting about Jacquemus being a brand that it's actually quite accessible in terms of their handbags and everything. So when there's people who are like, oh, I want a luxury bag, but I'm like entry level.
Yeah.
It's actually a good
It's
option.
a really good option.
It's a good
For
option.
sure.
It's
did you
like,
guy see the runway yesterday? The show. It was,
no, I didn't watch
beautiful.
it yet.
Oh
It's
my
on my
God.
watch
So
list.
beautiful.
I haven't watched
So
it.
And did you guys
beautiful.
notice what's back? Animal prints are back.
Yes,
zebra.
And the zebra. There's a
I
zebra skirt.
love
There's a
animal
zebra
print.
skirt that I'm
I
obsessed
mean,
with. That
I
I want.
really-
And
I
leopard
mean,
I
print
want
is
that
a
zebra
neutral.
skirt in my wardrobe.
Leopard is totally bad.
Leopard
Yeah.
is a
Leopard is-
neutral.
Leopard and
I
it's a
think
neutral.
again, leopard
Yeah,
is a
it's a
neutral. I was
neutral.
gonna say leopard is a neutral.
Yeah.
Like you can have it in your wardrobe and it will last you forever.
And it always
Forever,
comes
literally.
back.
It always
like,
comes
It
back.
always comes back.
Trends do come back.
Trends always come
Yeah.
back.
We
Because I
talked
love
about it
also
earlier.
mixing
So
in
nice.
neutral with a color as
Yeah.
well. You know,
Yeah,
I think for me it's like about having these neutral, timeless pieces in your
Yeah.
wardrobe, but then I like to mix them up
Adding
with
in
an
the
element of color.
Or print.
you
I think
add-
you're very
you
good
add
at
the
print.
Lulu.
Print or
Print is
I
really
feel like
cool.
or
you
an
add the
eyeshadow
Lulu.
that's
Oh,
like
yeah,
a certain.
exactly. She adds the Lulu touch.
So
She's
now,
done.
like, whenever I'm dressing, if I'm ever gonna consider color, I'm gonna be like, I'm adding the Lulu.
Yeah, that's
I love that.
That's
I
a
love
coin.
that.
I feel like it's
We're
such
adding
a-
the Lulu.
that needs to
Yeah.
kind of go
I love
viral
it.
now.
It's so
But
good.
also speaking about like timeless pieces, I love vintage. I personally love vintage,
Yeah.
and I feel like you can never go wrong with investing in a vintage piece. It's something that will last you a lifetime.
But no one else will have it.
And no one else will have it. And that's
so-
what I love
That's
the
amazing.
most.
It's
'cause
so good.
I
to
just
have
feel like
that.
so many things are visible, like so many things are repetitive
Yeah.
nowadays that
Trends.
buying
Everyone
a,
has
a
the-
vintage piece, you're gonna be the only one wearing it.
I
Yeah.
fully agree. I love
Yeah.
that about
Which
vintage.
I really
Yeah.
like.
I feel like you can really easily incorporate it into a more contemporary modern wardrobe as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I love the way that I love the Olsen twins, but I love the way that they take an old bag that's been beaten up for the last 50
Yeah.
years or something, and then they add
they-
it to like their really chic look. And I'm like,
They just look chic all the time.
They're
I mean,
amazing.
I don't know how
Honestly,
they
They're
do it.
amazing. They're
Would
amazing.
Would you guys say
Just
that they're your
incredible.
fashion icons?
Absolutely.
I mean, they are
100%.
definitely one of
Yeah.
my fashion. Yeah.
Do you have any others that you want to share with us? Like or are following on Instagram or people
Maybe.
think I'm
Literally, like,
Honestly, I feel like sometimes we get inspiration from the women that we know, and there's Muzi, there's Anam in Riyadh, Anam Bashir.
Yeah, she's
love her
wonderful.
style.
Incredible.
She also wears color beautifully,
Yeah.
and Syra Fashki, I love her
amazing.
style.
Another gray grid.
I
Yes,
love-
same aesthetic.
I
Yes,
love that
aesthetic.
she also has a love for the tabby boot. And I know
Oh,
we
I
talked
know.
about this before,
You
but
guys
like,
did speak
we
about this in
did.
the other podcast.
It's been really hit and miss with people, but I love that I have a fellow tabby boot
I love the
lover.
tabby boots, I have to say.
Yeah, they're super cute.
Team tabby.
Yeah, team tabby.
Do you guys have any recent follows on social that you can share or people that inspire you on social media?
The only thing that's coming to mind is that meme of like I saw it in the morning of Nara, the cooker. The cook.
Oh my god, Nara's
Because that's the only
yes.
one that's coming to my mind.
This
And I'm like,
woman, she's like, oh, my sister wanted some gum, and,
So I made
and so she made chewing gum.
Yeah,
and
she's a
those-
mood. She's a mood.
she's a mood, honestly.
so
But
calm
I saw
about
a
it.
meme today that was.
But it's so funny how she's like,
relatable.
I don't have toothpaste, but then
Made
she
some.
makes it very
Her
soothing.
voice is amazing. She is
Yeah.
exceptionally beautiful.
Yes,
But the
agreed.
memes, guys, like literally,
Not
they're
just
so
the memes,
good.
the Stitch TikToks are hilarious.
They're
Yeah.
also
Funny.
quite absurd, like the stuff
It
that
is.
she
It is.
does.
To be honest, I think she does it on purpose.
Of course.
I think
mean,
there is
that's-
definitely
yeah.
an element of like,
no,
I'm doing
of
this on
course.
purpose.
Like, take it from me. I've had kids.
Yeah.
No one has
Who's
that
making
amount
chewing
of
gum
time.
at home?
And you're little, and she has
And
a
you
newborn.
just had a baby.
I
No
know.
one has that amount of time to just like
You
look
know,
gorgeous
there's
and
a
start
term-
cooking
She
looks
and like
effortless.
she
There's a
looks
term for
she
these
looks
women, 'cause
effortless.
There's quite a few that are like her on Instagram and TikTok. They're called, I think they're called the trad wife.
I read this
The
as well.
trad wife,
Yeah.
and they're
Oh,
like
that's
just
nice.
the,
I feel like it was a little controversial as well, like trad wife, and people were like traditional wife.
Oh,
basically.
got you. I was
Yeah,
like, what
yeah.
is trad? Okay,
Yeah,
got you.
like a traditional wife, and they're like, who
But,
are
that,
you
but
to
also, who's
define,
defining?
like, who's
I
defining?
mean, I'm
traditional
absolutely on that.
wife?
Like, who's
Yeah.
defining traditional? Like, what
Because
is,
yeah.
Well, also, I mean, yeah.
No, like they want to go back into like the 1920s era of
Yeah.
like housewife,
Right.
You know, Stepford
Yeah.
wife, maybe. I don't know.
but at the same
a bit
time,
weird.
it's contradictory because it's like, okay, she's emulating this woman that's basically doing it all, making homemade chewing gum, and then she's at the same time a businesswoman because she's making money
That's it.
from
From
doing
that.
it.
True.
So it's like a
So
contradiction right there.
So true.
So really, are you a trad wife or are you just a really smart businesswoman?
Yeah.
So actually, how do you digest social media? Do you guys go on TikTok or Instagram? What's your favorite?
I personally first go on Instagram.
Yeah,
I'm more of an
same.
Instagram girl, but
Same.
recently I've been on TikTok a lot.
It's so addictive.
I don't
no?
post a lot on TikTok, but I do get in a hole. And what I like about TikTok is I find it a lot more relatable.
Yeah.
because I
It's
do
very
feel-
raw.
It's very raw. It's
casual,
more organic.
It's organic,
Exactly.
and I feel like sometimes Instagram becomes a little bit like, just not forced, but like
Yeah.
like we've seen the stuff
Yeah.
and we know what to expect
exactly.
basically from Instagram, as opposed to TikTok. We're like, oh my god, what?
Yeah.
Like,
And there's so many different types of
wild.
things. With Instagram, I guess it's a lot of it is people that you follow.
Right.
And then TikTok, the For You page, I mean, that could just run wild. I mean,
Yeah.
you have no idea
Yeah,
what
you
you're
have
going to
no
get.
idea.
Two schools of thought with
Yeah.
TikTok and Instagram users. So Instagram, I feel like people are much more mindful about each other's feelings with their comments, and they're much nicer. And there's this whole like, okay, be nice. On TikTok, it's feral.
Oh,
like
yeah.
people are savage and they leave
It's
terrible
true.
comments on everything. And I'm
Yeah.
like,
They're just so raw.
Yeah,
I mean,
I'm like,
that's
but it's
really
not
the app. It's
nice.
just so raw.
I don't know. I can't really handle. I don't
not-
handle negativity well.
Yeah.
So I
Do
feel
you
like
not?
I've just kind of I don't want anything to do with it now. And I know, like, I feel like having an online presence, you should be someone that's like
Thick-skinned.
stronger. Yeah. But I just feel like at some point you have to put your energy towards something else.
And you need to set
Absolutely.
boundaries for yourself. I
Yeah.
think in order for you to have a healthy mindset,
Relationship with the app
and
as well.
relationship with the app
Yeah.
and your work, you have to set boundaries.
And your work and your family and like you can shrug off so many things, but then you're like, but is that true? Or like, is that like what
You
about
start to overthink.
Yeah,
So how do you
so-
handle the haters? I mean that's a great way to.
Yeah.
I just, you know how I handle, I know it's really hard, especially if you're a content creator and you're out there all the time and there are people leaving not very nice comments and
Yeah.
stuff. You just have to say, you know what, I love my life, I'm living my life.
no
This
one can
person
judge.
doesn't know me, this
Yeah.
person doesn't pay my
Exactly.
bills, I'm
It's
good,
true,
you
yeah.
know? And I think you just have to, but there are people who are very consumed by it and it can become really, you know, not a good mental
Yeah.
space to be in.
Absolutely.
So there's a real kind of danger with using social media and
having that social
And having
presence.
that- yeah.
Yeah. You need to just keep instilling in yourself that you've got this, and it's what their
Yeah.
words, sticks and stones may break my
Yeah.
bones. You
But
know.
words can hurt. Words
But
can
they
be
can-
quite
yeah.
painful.
Yeah.
Like
Really, yeah.
it can be a lot worse.
Yeah,
and like
it
I would
really
rather
can.
like someone slap me than said something really mean about
Yeah.
something. You know, because words hurt differently, and I think that we need to.
set that balance
Yeah.
between what you accept and what you reject.
Yeah.
And
also like be mindful of our own energy and be mindful of everyone else's energy and see how we can actually leave the world a better place
Yeah.
than where we found it. And social media.
Mic
is just-
drop. Love
Yeah,
that. Yes.
like a
leave the
social
world a better
media,
place. Yeah.
because social media allows for people to be actually not very, nice. Like, there's no.
You're hiding behind a screen, so you can
that's
literally
it. It's
like say
it's
anything.
something that we didn't have to grow up with,
At
right?
all.
Like,
Yeah.
you wouldn't just walk up to someone and just be the meanest person ever, right? You wouldn't just be like, oh my god, you look like X, Y, Z. You wouldn't say that.
No. No,
but
no, you
people
wouldn't. But
just
people can now.
they say it now.
It's so accessible.
It also comes with how much of your life that you put on Instagram, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So when
How
you,
exposed
when
you-
you share a lot of your life, people all of a sudden think that they are in your.
They're invested.
They're invested.
very
They want to
invested.
know what
It's true.
they want to know where your husband's at. They want to know.
yeah,
They want to know
it's
what you ate for dinner.
Yeah.
So I
It's true,
I
yeah.
think most of us keep our personal lives
I
off.
personally
Keep it
like
off.
to keep
As much as possible.
Yeah.
If people don't know, what's the bag that you're wearing today? Because it is just...
Yeah, your bag is
I
amazing.
recently got the Bottega Lauren
I love
1980,
it. Stunning.
and it's just
It's
such
beautiful, and the
it
color is
the
amazing.
colour. I went for a color.
The color is amazing.
Not black.
I'm so glad you went for a color. And
No,
also,
and that
this
color
color
is-
is really like,
Yeah.
it's so
good classic.
incredible.
It's it's timeless.
It's what's on your wish list?
The Saint Laurent leopard, the kittens.
yeah.
They
So
are
long.
amazing. My friend was in Paris. I was like, just pick them up, just pick them. She's like, they're sold out everywhere. So now I'm getting that, like, I need to just buy them now.
FOMO.
Because
like,
they weren't
tomorrow.
sold
Yeah.
out, by the way. They were not sold out, and I was really close to buying them. I
They're
was like,
so good.
It was in my cart. I'm like, I love these shoes.
They're so good.
But now they're sold out. But anyways, it'll come back.
I think they're still in Dubai, so I'm actually.
I
just
think
gonna,
so, by the way, because
it's a
they
sign.
were in my cart. I forget from where.
Unas. They're in my
Maybe-
like,
maybe
Unas
Unas,
cart.
honestly.
I'm just unsure about the size, so I need to like.
I love that though, because
take
we
the
get
plunge.
2-hour delivery and it's
Yeah.
done.
That's
So
it.
Speaking of
Yeah.
wish lists, what's on my wish list is a Bottega bag in the color that you have.
Yes!
But the big one, you know, the
the
hop.
hop?
The hop.
We
like
both
the
love
massive
that.
hop.
Love it in chocolate.
Oh my god,
So
I
would you
really
recommend
want that
it?
one.
I love the hop.
Yeah.
I love the way that
And the leather
slouches.
is amazing.
It slouches. The more
Yeah.
you use it, the softer
Yeah.
it is. It just takes such a pretty shape.
Yeah.
Even if you fill it with nothing, or if you stuff it,
That's-
it takes a
That's
good shape.
It does.
incredible.
It is.
Like that's
Between us, I can tell you that the hop is going to come out. I think if it goes into production, I don't know if I'm allowed to talk about this, but
Yeah.
it should be coming out next season in not the woven leather.
Okay.
It's going to come out in a plain burgundy.
Okay,
like
but that's what I want, the plain burgundy. But didn't it come out? It was an older season, the burgundy, and I think now it's.
it's going to come out in like a plain,
Oh,
really
wow.
soft, like not woven
wow,
leather.
inside
Oh,
scoop.
plain. Oh,
Yeah.
plain.
Yeah.
Girly.
Oh wow. Okay, so maybe I'll wait
Insider
for that
knowledge.
then.
Very cool. I love the hop. I think Muzi styles it beautifully.
It's
as
my
well.
I
favorite
love the
bag.
hop.
I just feel like
a good piece.
I just that's the only one I just keep wanting to grab, and I'm just like it matches
That's
with
on my
everything.
wish list.
It's perfect.
Because I also feel like for travel, for
my
every
God.
day.
No, and if
it's
it
just-
stays,
travel.
if the
easy.
shape stays without
Yeah.
anything in it, that is
Yeah.
like a sign
It's
of an
amazing.
amazing
But
investment.
actually, over time, the leather slouches,
Yeah.
which is so
Which is
nice.
Even nicer.
Even
Yeah,
better.
it adds like a.
But yeah, it's great. But you were going to tell us what's on your wish list. So that's on your wish list. And what about yours?
Well, honestly, when you said the Saint Laurent shoes, I was like, yeah, actually, those are added to my cart
In my
for so
cart,
long.
yeah.
And then Jimmy Choo came out with these new shoes that are like little kitten heel, strappy shoes, which
With
are,
the tiny,
yeah, and
with the
little,
sling
little
back?
ball that
I
has like
actually-
a
So cute.
so cute. You got them
They-
recently.
Yeah, I went to the Jimmy Choo event. They're stunning.
They're
and they
beautiful.
were on my wish list.
They're
actually.
amazing
love
shoes.
when
They were
They're
on
so
my wish
cute. They have
list.
little
And I
disciples.
opened the box and I was like, oh my gosh.
I love the little nod to the 90s with that.
Yeah.
So
Right?
exactly,
Like,
the trend coming back is like the 90s. You pair that with a
with a capri.
and you're
perfect.
set. Exactly.
Love it.
That's me this
Yeah.
summer.
Yeah,
I
watch
love
Lulu
that.
this
I'm
summer.
going to be watching all of her
know,
outfits.
I know.
What's on your bag wish list? Muzi?
Another Bottega.
Another
like,
Bottega.
I mean, I just feel like
Yeah.
the one you came walking in with today is a top
Jaw
contender.
dropping. I mean, it's
Yeah,
such
like-
a
That's a good-
nice bag.
Yeah,
Such a nice
she sent me a
bag.
message. I was telling her, she sent me a message yesterday like, oh my God, I fell down and look what happened. And I was like, oh my God, what? And then she sent me a photo of the bag and I was like, ouch. Did it hurt?
Wow, it fell into my arms. And
So
it
good.
comes in so many different colors.
Yeah.
And there's a green suede hop
Yeah.
coming out.
Yes.
Ooh.
Wow.
Oh, really big, the
I-
big green suede.
Yeah.
Stunning.
I also love the denim version. The denim
so good.
version is
With the
really
leather
cool.
of
There's
the
a
hop?
new like dark. It's like a dark denim with leather.
Yeah,
Exactly.
wow.
it's
So I love
so
that.
Cool.
Did you see the raffia one? So there's
The raffia
raffia
one's
with
amazing
leather,
with the brown and the
with
it's
the brown
stunning.
leather, but
Yeah.
like even the raffia is like woven
It's so
and then
nice.
woven
Wow.
again. It's like
Craftsmanship,
But the
100.
craftsmanship of
Immaculate.
Bottega.
Yeah, I mean, I know
it's
from your
something
last
else.
podcast when you were talking about
Oh,
Bottega.
we probably
Yeah.
need to stop talking about
I know, we talk about Bottega so
we should
much.
talk about a different brand
But I
now.
actually really want to know your summer plans. Like, what do you guys have coming up?
So I have a lot of weddings.
Yeah, it is the
there's-
season of weddings. I
It's,
mean,
it's wedding season.
Everyone
Everyone's
is-
pregnant or getting married.
I mean, we're at the
Exactly.
phase.
and we're just here like, we're just getting more fabulous.
I'm a big wedding
We're
gift.
just getting more fabulous.
I will buy you guys gifts.
Waiting for that hobo beautiful that. So yeah, I have a lot of weddings. I'm going to Lebanon for a wedding, and then I'm going to Jordan to visit some family, and then I'll be going to Ibiza. So I'm really excited
Love
for
Ibiza.
that.
Is that for a wedding too?
No, not for a wedding.
Okay.
Just for
fun.
For fun.
For a good time.
Yeah, for
I
a
love
good
that.
time. And part of my Ibiza trip will be for my sister-in-law's bachelorette because my brother's getting married. So that's going to be fun. So I'm
nice.
excited. Yeah, I can't wait for my summer outfits to be.
Oh my God, I can't wait.
We can't wait.
We can't wait. We're like, we're so excited to see
What is
that.
she gonna wear in Ibiza?
I know.
Season.
It's so nice to
season.
plan for your trips. Like, how far in advance do you guys plan for your travel? And your outfits?
terms of outfits?
Yeah, in terms of outfits.
Let me tell you. So we're going to Sri Lanka actually this Friday. We fly to Sri Lanka.
Oh, nice.
Rav is already packed.
I love
in
that.
packing cubes.
I
He sent me
love
a picture.
that.
I love that so
And
much.
everything is immaculate. I haven't started packing. I know I'm going to start panicking on Friday because I haven't packed. And there are basically 2 mounds of clothes that I've like put aside for like maybe travel. And they're just lying there in the middle of my dressing room. Yeah.
so last minute. then.
I'm
It's
very
so summer.
I'm also super last minute, and like
relatively
the
last
night
minute.
before a flight, I'll just be awake till like
Yeah,
super
me too.
late.
That's it.
And yeah,
They call it the marathon before the travel. Like,
No,
Yeah.
it's
eyebrow appointment, laser,
literally.
nails.
And
I'm
you're like that as
I'm
well.
so like that.
I feel that's going to be me and you before we head to London.
Yeah,
So
we're
we're
just like-
heading to London
Yeah.
with SheerLuxe. So it's going to be really
Oh my gosh,
exciting.
that's exciting.
And I'm already like booked in for my roots, my brows.
I love it. Yeah, you need that. All that. Cause
Yeah.
the checklist is long.
yeah.
We live.
At least for me, it's like such a long beauty checklist. I'm like,
Yeah.
Do you guys use packing cubes? Because I heard you
I
speak.
don't.
Okay, I recently ordered them.
Oh my
They're
god.
And
game
I
changer.
went, yeah.
no, they're super great. Honestly,
so
you
good.
organize your outfits so well. So before I travel, I always take a photo of my outfits
Yeah.
on my phone whenever I
yeah,
have the
so
time.
that's what I do as
Yeah.
well.
yeah.
'Cause it's
Wear
just
an outfit,
easier.
take a photo, and then
Yeah.
like know how to style it. Also helps
And
with
you pack less.
packing less. Also, I'm really trying to be a light packer. It's
I'm.
so
I know,
hard.
it's
I feel
so
like
hard.
It depends on the weather. Like if you can always get away with
Depends on the
packing.
weather. If it's
light.
cooler,
It's the
you
weather.
can actually take fewer pieces and just
Yeah.
focus on like
Yeah.
some bomb outerwear.
coat.
you
Yeah,
know?
yeah.
But like when it's hot, and like for the blazer girlies who go to Europe in the summer, it's like
it's a
especially like a
struggle.
beach town. Like what are you packing?
Can I take
Oh
a
my
coat
God.
jacket?
Can I
Bra?
take a
jacket? I mean, yeah. I mean, even the UK in the summer, I think is difficult to pack for.
It's gonna be cold.
because it's gonna be cold.
It's gonna be great. I can't wait.
Oh
I don't
my
want it to rain.
gosh.
I just want it to be cold, so I can wear a jacket over.
But it's actually not going to be
basics.
that cold because we were there that time last year and
Yeah.
it was actually not that cold.
But someone is there right
You
now,
need like a
and they're like
cardigan
it's
or-
freezing.
Oh, is it?
And I think Georgie mentioned that it was
yeah,
quite
Georgie.
cold.
Yeah.
So we've got travel plans.
Oh yeah. What are your travel
Yeah,
plans?
where are you
I'm only
going?
gonna go back to Lahore, visit fam,
Yeah.
or maybe even Cairo, visit my parents.
So your parents are in Cairo.
They're still there. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So I try to go back once a year.
Yeah.
But it really depends where we all are. I feel like when you're not with your like siblings or like you just want to make that effort to kind of meet somewhere. Like 2 summers ago, we're like, that's it, sisters trip, Rome.
That's so nice.
I'm like, let's do that again. And I'm like, wait, I have a 7-month-old. What do I do?
Oh my god, I know. You're like, wait, I'm a
Put him in a
parent.
backpack.
no.
Can you like drop off your kids to your parents' house?
Yes,
my
I do
brother
that a
does
lot.
that.
I
all
do
the
that
time.
a lot.
Like,
I do that a lot. Yeah.
How many kids do you have?
I have 3. Yeah, 2 girls and a boy. Yeah.
Aw,
amazing.
She's like super mom.
cute.
You're
Fabulous.
super
It's
ever
mom.
mom. What do you mean?
I'm
How
like,
do
you
have
are gold.
3 kids. Look this good.
Right?
Your mom would be
guys.
proud. Let's just say your mom, who's always put together growing up,
Yeah,
she'd be proud.
I mean, well, thank you
You
guys.
get it from your mom. That's amazing.
Yeah, you are goals.
That's so sweet, guys. I feel like I'm never put together mentally, but like
Well,
Here
actually,
we are.
we
Like,
definitely
it's
see it.
very,
We
like-
definitely see it.
yeah, we see it.
here we
see it.
are.
Actually, have you guys ever had any fashion disasters? Like any iconic moments in your fashion? I mean, I definitely have. So.
Oh, tell us about yours.
I mean, no, I mean, there's too many to list, but like certain things I would never go back to. Like, remember the Swarovski straps? Like the clear
yeah.
straps with straws.
Yeah, with
like,
the- yeah.
okay.
I mean,
yeah.
I would never do that again.
No.
I don't think, I mean, but back then it was super cool.
Then it was cool.
Yeah.
I feel like so it's not a disaster. It was just a moment in fashion.
Yeah.
When you look back on
Yeah.
it.
I
like,
mean, yeah. So
Yeah, it's like an
true.
education.
It was
you
a
know, like
trend that
learning
I
curve.
will not go back to. But do you guys have any other like fashion disaster moments?
Definitely, but I can't. Something's not coming to mind right
Yeah,
now.
yeah,
Like, I feel
definitely
like
a lot.
definitely, there's no way we don't.
But what's a trend that you would never go back to? I mean, we know capris are not.
Capris capris. I mean,
No,
I don't like
I'm
capris,
definitely.
like, I
I've
don't
gone back to
know.
the capris.
So I actually, for the first time in ages, I don't even think I'd ever tried them on. But I tried on a pair of those, you know, those like longer denim shorts that are in at the moment. I know all of the
There's a word for them as well, but I forgot.
Are they jorts?
Yeah, they are shorts. They are
They're
shorts.
also called the boyfriend shorts.
And I know that some of the SheerLuxe girlies in the UK, they style them beautifully. And so I tried on a pair, and my husband was like, no.
But I actually feel like you could pull it off with like an oversized. I see you wearing like an oversized blazer with like capris as well.
You know,
really
those,
slipping in the capris.
like you know
I could
those
be
like
converted. I'm gonna make Lulu take me out.
Yeah.
And I want to be Lulu.
There needs to be a
I love
style.
it.
Maybe we
Where
need
there's a few
to
terms.
do a capri try on.
We
like,
should. I feel like I need to be Lulu.
We should have had a dress code.
She
We
needs
should have
to,
all
like-
rocked up.
I
in
was
capris.
actually
I
gonna
mean, it
wear
kind of feels like there is a dress code, to be honest.
Yeah.
I'm looking at you guys.
But I was actually gonna wear my capris today.
No,
I should have
I
worn
wish
them.
had. But I want to be Lulu. Like I want like Lulu to take me out and put me in print and color, just for me
love
to like
that.
frighten myself
my
or like
God.
get past my phobia.
Honestly, like you said, she needs to have her own like, what's it called? Like a
color
school.
therapy.
Color therapy.
Color
like,
therapy school
Well,
with
well,
Lulu.
I might
like
actually
a workshop.
Yeah,
Color
you
workshop.
should.
How to incorporate
Get
color and
Lulu'd.
prints. And vintage, actually, you're really good at
Yeah, I
vintage.
love vintage.
But how do you incorporate vintage with like your modern look and not make it seem so vintagey?
So for me, it's about mixing vintage with like a a modern shoe. Let's say like my Decori heels, for example, with a vintage dress. Let's say. You know.
Do you have any
Or then
favorite?
accessories, or if my makeup, the way I do my hair as well.
So it's a really a full like 360.
Yeah,
which
it's a
is
full
really-
360, but it's also about mixing and matching like a vintage top with a pair of like just normal denim jeans.
And where do you like to shop for vintage? Because I think we went to a So Much Trouble event recently, and like there's so many pieces there that are amazing.
Really
But
cool.
I feel like
cool.
vintage is
It's
really
such a cool
coming out
space.
here. In the region, which is very popular in the West, but here it's like up and coming to have vintage stores and concept stores.
Yeah. I love Nouvelle Vague from Lebanon.
Oh, great one.
I really love the way Tatiana curates her pieces, the way she selects all the items. Nouvelle Vague is definitely my go-to in the
Me
region.
too. Love her
Yeah.
stuff. Really
Yeah.
nice
Yeah.
things there.
I think with the pop-up that was at,
I mean, I know what you're
so
talking
I've-
about, but I never bought anything.
so I've done a pop-up with Nouvelle Vague and
Alpha
Mexica
Cal.
Sports
Yes.
and
Yeah.
Circal.
they had some really cool pieces.
And her pieces are amazing, honestly.
wicked.
I have so many pieces from her, like from like vintage Espada.
They're beautiful. I even even recently when she had that her showroom, it was beautiful.
Yeah.
Like
really,
good.
really, really stunning pieces.
I loved this jacket. It was like a leather jacket with fringing.
Yeah.
It was just so
Oh,
cool.
Yeah, I
So
remember you
nice.
came
Yeah.
by.
You were
Yeah.
like, oh, let me see that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
really
recently
cool.
bought a top that has balloon sleeves, and
I
when we were
remember
talking
that.
about the
The
balloon.
last podcast.
Yeah, I love anything
It
balloons.
looks
We were talking about that
perfect
jacket
on
recently
you.
about the balloon sleeves. I was like,
Yeah.
sign me up.
I have so many balloons.
I love balloon sleeves. I don't think my
so
boyfriend likes them
good.
though. I feel like it might be like a man repeller outfit, like the jorts. I don't know, but I'm obsessed with balloon.
I don't know.
sleeves.
I don't care.
Yeah, exactly. I don't care.
Like,
I don't
are you
care.
wearing
Like,
it?
Hey,
You don't
are
like
you paying
it?
my bills?
Yeah. You don't like it? Really?
But I
sorry
also
for
love,
you.
I love
the
shoulder
pads
pads.
too.
I think
Shoulder pads, like
That's
I
it.
love that, and that's what I love about vintage as well. Like so many pieces have that like shoulder
There's
pad.
an element to like power dressing with
it is
shoulder
power
pads,
dressing.
and I love the idea that you take up space.
Yeah.
You know, it makes you
That's it.
feel like
Yeah.
It
bigger.
does make you feel empowered. I
Yeah.
really
Really
love
cool.
that. Like,
Yeah.
I used to be
big
really
height,
insecure
yeah.
about my wide shoulders, but then I realized that it's actually
No.
quite nice
It's
to have.
It's
flattering.
amazing. Yeah. And it just like
nice.
creates this shape of your like silhouette that's so nice.
Do you ever feel like your insecurities like stop you from creating certain fashion choices, or do you feel like you, as you've aged, perhaps? I mean, that's at least the case
I
for
think
me.
definitely before.
Yeah.
I used to feel like, oh, I don't think I should wear this, or like I need to, balance an outfit out. And even with color, like even with color,
Yeah.
like if I'm like, okay, I don't want to be like looking like a bubblegum wearing like all pink, so maybe I should break it with a bit of black, or like, so I do sometimes when it comes to color, just like throw in my safety palette.
Yeah, and that makes you feel more confident
That
in
does.
essence, right?
Yeah. But the older I'm getting, and I feel like the older we're all getting, it is what it is. You, as long as you're feeling good in what you're wearing, like I think that's the main
But you
point
also
of
know
it.
what works for you, right?
Right.
Like I know, for example, I can't wear like a super tight bodycon dress. Like that's
too.
not
Yeah,
that's not
like, I
me.
feel like
that
it's
won't
not
work
the
for me.
vibe.
Like it's not the vibe,
Yeah.
you know?
But you do like cutouts so well.
Yeah.
Like you wear these beautiful evening dresses and then you have like these little cutouts and it's so sexy.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, she just looks great.
It looks
like
great.
how?
Yeah.
Yeah,
But-
no, I think that's a really good point. It's like as you start to learn your style, you start to see like what works
what works
for
for
and
you. Exactly.
feeling comfortable and confident in it is really important.
Yeah.
It's a very good takeaway, I think.
Yeah.
Because like, again, a lot of people follow trends because that's what people are wearing and it's what people are doing. But then also you have to really think like, does this make me feel good? Like, oh my god, I'm so excited to purchase it because it's trending. But does it make me feel good?
Yeah.
Like you kind of need to take a second to really think about it. So
That's it.
yeah, I think that's great.
And also, like, is it going to take up a space in my wardrobe that could go to something better, or like
Building that
I'm gonna
capsule.
wear? But the thing is, like, people buy clothes and then they save them for like a special occasion. I'm like, no,
wear them
your
every
clothes.
day.
Things are there
Cost
to be
per wear.
used. Yes.
Literally.
Cost per wear, that's
Cost
girl
per
math for you.
wear,
I always
yeah.
say
This cost me.
things are there to be used and people are there to be loved. So I think like just if you're going out even with your girlfriends for a casual coffee, like dress
that
it up,
dress,
like
yeah.
wear your outfit, do
That's
it well, and like
That's it.
own it,
Yeah.
and like rewear your clothes. I think it's so important for us to like rewear our outfits,
Yeah.
rather than like always looking for like the next.
No, for sure.
And that's the
for
thing,
sure.
you can always rewear in so many different ways,
Yes,
right? That's about
absolutely.
building like that timeless wardrobe,
That's
being
it.
a bit more sustainable as well.
Yeah.
You know, having a piece that you can wear in so many different ways as well.
Yeah.
Ladies, I feel like we could talk for hours, and I honestly learned so much from all of you. So thank you so much for joining us today. You guys are amazing. So that's it for us. Please rate, review, subscribe, and let us know what you think. Tell all your friends, and we'll see you on the next one.
Bye.
Bye.